All right, good morning, cyber traders. Welcome back on this lovely Tuesday, day after Memorial Day. Can everybody just say hello? Want to make sure everybody's up and awake, ready to go. Good to see you, Don, Grant, Andrea, Bonnie, Don. To Don twice. Sorry about that. Mark, Anthony, everyone. All right, welcome back. Hopefully, everybody had a wonderful weekend. Once again, like to thank all veterans for a great Memorial Day. It's not always a day of vacation, the first day of summer, but it's a day of remembrance. So thanks for your service and sacrificing your lives, giving us a great country in the United States. But we're back to work now. I'm so excited. The market is up 600 points. You know, I'm looking at the Dow, and I'm like, do you realize that we're almost under 5,000 points away from the high? We were down to 18,000. We are now at 25,000 on the Dow. So, you know, you've been listening to me a while. I've been here, and I said, listen, there's always a catastrophe every 8 years. Okay. Unfortunately, this one was a lot longer than what it was. This one went back almost. 2008 and 2009 was the last catastrophe. So it took almost 13 years, 12 years to actually get another big catastrophe like this, an opportunity. One of the best days that you make money in the market. But there was some great positions, great opportunities, and you had to look at different areas of the market. You know, stocks that you would never even think of. I know we all keep talking about the airlines, the cruise stocks, everything else, but you know what? If you guys watched I did a post on Instagram, and also it's on my Twitter and YouTube, Twitter and Facebook page. But Penn right now is probably, in my opinion, maybe the best performer of the crash of the coronavirus. This stock was at 375 low, okay, and it's trading almost at hit almost a high of $33. Now you do the math. What is that? Almost 1,000%. On a swing trade. So this has basically been probably been the best swing trade out of them all. Now, I know some of you guys here in the room have it. Unfortunately, I sold it and bought it back and then sold it again. I put all my trades into DraftKings. So DraftKings doing really well because it was more of an IPO, and this stock trades side by side with it. But there were, we go down the list. There was just so many of them. Wayfair did great. What else did what's the other one that's doing? Like, all these online stores are just doing great. Restoration Hardware, was that RR, I think? No, what's Restoration Hardware? I have it over here somewhere. Restoration Hardware was another one that did great. What's the symbol of that one? I just had it up on my screen. Anyway, they're all doing great. Google's up about 26 points. Oh, RH, that's what it is. RH, thanks. Look at the stock. 80 down to almost up to 200, 206 now. There's just so many of them that are just doing phenomenal. The list goes on and on and on. But then when we look at stocks like we all thought they were going to bounce, let's try Norwegian Cruise Line. Look at right here on the trade. So it went from 10, right now it's at 15. Listen, it's still a 50% winner. From if you got it at the lows, I was a big fan of Boeing. I got out of that trade because you know what? Funny story. You only have X amount of buying power, right? Let's say you have a certain account and I can't afford Boeing or whatever it is. This is probably a time when you might want to consider trading an option trade. It's like, listen, I can't afford the stock, but I know the market's coming back. This is where you leverage. Only time I'm a fan of trading options. 3 times. Catastrophes like this, insurance policy because you're over leveraged and you have too much stocks out there, or third, you own so much money in stocks that you just want to rent it out instead of owning a building. Just send it and make premiums. It's a lot safer than dealing with, rentees. You know what I mean? So those are a lot of good moving stocks out there. But I'm telling you, I'm really, really excited. And you hear me keep talking about it. We're going to hit the bottom. We're going to hit the bottom. We'll hit the bottom. And if you ever watched my interview on NASDAQ, when they asked me, that was actually the first question where Jill asked me. She says, Fausto, and I came there exactly. My last interview was one of the last days that they did it at the NASDAQ Center until they shut everything down. And she's like, Fausto, you're a day trader. A lot of analysts are all going back and forth. When do we hit the bottom? And I said it, and I say it again. When you got the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst news, and we don't go down anymore, that's a time when to buy. Okay. So, I mean, listen, they're predicting third quarter is going to do great. I really think we're going to probably outperform that because, a cure is coming. Everybody is all in. Unfortunately, it's a business. And I don't know if you guys know the definition of business. It was actually one of my test questions on my final in college. It's 2 words: making money. that's really, anyway. You ask them, what's the definition of business, and everyone could write a paragraph. Well, it means this, and then meaning people. No, it's making money. That's it. It's 2 words, and that's basically what we're having going on right now. So we're having a lot of great volume, and it's great. Now, listen, coming back from Memorial Day, I just want to let you know what's going on. It was pretty crappy here in New York. I know that Memorial Day, a lot of people go to the Hamptons over here in New York. Big money out there. A lot of people want to get away. Actually, some got just left and stayed there ever since the coronavirus. But, yesterday was actually a really nice day. It was decent in the afternoon. So I'm seeing a lot of people drag their feet coming into work. I mean, I'm looking in pre-market. There's really a lot of things just gapped up. Okay. A lot of things just gapped up. So there are a few stocks that are trading, and we go through this every morning. We find about 10 good stocks. Some of them are good. Some of them won't do anything, but some of them just will pop out of nowhere. But before we go through that watch list, just want to tell you, I was done early on Friday. Okay. And some of you already know that I was done at 10. I was done within the first 30 minutes. I traded BJ's, and I traded BJ's, and I got it on the pop right here, and you could see it. BJ's has been doing phenomenal. How do you not know BJ's was going to do that good with the coronavirus? I was at my local fruit store, Cross Island Fruits, and owned by a bunch of Italians. Italians love fruit, and it's a nice little vegetable place. Pretty big store, convenience store, and not convenience store, more of a meat and vegetable store. And you know what he told me? He says, Fausto, he goes, I have not taken a day off. I actually only took 1 day off last Thursday. I've been working all day. He says, we're making more money and having the best year ever. And I can't even get the stuff. And you know what? It makes sense. When you think about it, if people are not going to work, right? Well, what are they doing? They're not going out to lunch. They're bringing their lunch. They're eating at home, so they're eating lunch. People not going out to dinner. What do they need to do? Cook dinner at home. So these places are doing phenomenal. People like Costco, like BJ's, like Cross Island Fruits. And another one, and then I was doing a lot of gardening this past week. Okay. So I went to my local nursery. I'm very well known, good friends to Capil Nursery. They say, Fausto, I'm like, where the hell are all the plants? I mean, this place is like 15, 20 acres. And they're like, we can't get the plants in fast enough. He said, the prices are ridiculous. I mean, they went up a lot, but because they're selling out. He says, we have the best year in the 50 years that we've been in business. So people are staying home and they're gardening and whatever. So all these companies like Lowe's, like Home Depot, I mean, Lowe's is killing it too. They're all doing phenomenal. It's, you have to look at when you're trading, you can't look at it, which we were all looking at we were looking at Dell, we're looking at Delta Airlines, we 60 down to 20, Warren Buffett bought it, sold it. I mean, you're like, well, is this the bottom? I mean, getting opportunity by Delta in the 20s. But the thing is, there's more opportunity to risk on something else that will give you more reward with less risk. For example, like I was just mentioning you a Boeing. I sold Boeing because I'm like, why would I buy $140 stock, $150 stock, when we could have traded stock like Penn when it was at 450 and this thing went up? Look, it's already up at 32. So risk to reward is what it's all about. And that's where a lot of people fail in trading. And I just want to kind of reiterate that because we're having this great market right now. We're up 600 points. By the way, probably one of the best pictures I've ever taken, and you could see it on my Instagram, was me standing with the worst looking face when the market was down 3,000 points. I mean, that historically is probably one of the most historic crashes of the market history, like in 1929. I mean, down 3,000 points, point wise. I mean, I tell you, I cracked open, a nice, very expensive bottle of scotch after that one. Don't mind me. And I'm not a crazy drinker, but I mean, what else are we gonna do? You're looking at that, and it's like, do you sell it? Do you sell it? We hit 18,000. We right down that low. Unbelievable. So anyway, a couple of good things that are out there. By the way, just kind of mention a couple other ones on Friday. So anyway, I traded the BJs, made my money, got out. Stock was pretty volatile. Stock's been doing great, and BJs was one of the reasons why was affected. Which everyone's there shopping. So they did well. A couple of the stocks that did pretty well. That if you missed out on Friday, lifted pretty good, 30 to 32. That one did really well. Penn did really well also on Friday in the afternoon. We could see I had some gorgeous Fausto flags right there, which is what we spend so much time talking about in class. And then Red Rock Resorts. That one did really well, and it's also gapping up pretty well. You could see a stock went from 12 over to 1350. So a lot of big things that are going on. Now, what's moving this morning? Okay, so a couple of stocks that are moving. First of all, LK, be very careful with this stock, okay? It's gapped up this morning. It's up by 23%. We all know about LK, got it halted. We made a lot of money with LK. So just be very, very careful. If you could, this stock, you have to scalp it. It's the only way you can make money on this stock, and you have to trade a lot of shares of it. But please do not hold it. I don't know what the hell's going on with these Chinese stocks. You're already hearing that the president's looking to and also the exchanges are looking to make them all reporting, which, by the way, I still cannot fathom how these companies, Chinese companies, are not reporting companies. Makes absolutely zero sense. Why do they trade by a different set of rules? And then every other public company has to set by the U.S. guided rules. Makes no sense. So I think a lot's going to change. And I think a lot of these companies are in big, big trouble. They're all going to get delisted, if they don't come to the table. So anyway, so I'll be really careful. Doesn't mean they're bad companies. It's just that they're not going to be trading on the exchanges anymore, which I don't know where you're going to go from there. So LK, we got one. DFFN is also moving pretty nicely this morning. The stock went from $1.10 to $1.80. She's starting to move back up again. She's up about 18%. 5 million shares traded, but she's a penny stock, so be very careful of that. It's going to be really difficult to find those big iceberg orders on that one. Mark is another one that's moving this morning. That one was a good moving stock on Friday. Forgot to mention that one. You can see it went from $1.90 all the way to about $2.30, and she's gapped up to about $3. Been a really, really nice moving stock. We've done very, very well with the stock, Mark. Starting to back off a little bit, but look at all those orders on the right. Stocks got, look at 29,000 buyers, 10,000 buyers, 35,000 share buyers, 29,000 share sellers. You got great icebergs orders in the stock. So fun little stock to trade, but be very careful. It says trade a lot of volume, 4 million shares, takes a lot to move it. MTC, this one also up 163%, but she's kind of flat right now. So I don't know what's up with that, but this thing is gapped up huge. This stock, I'm going to keep a very close eye on it when it opens up. Not a little bit more controllable on the iceberg orders. If you look over there on the right, seeing on the level 3, but looks pretty, looks like we got some good volatility on this one. CLRB stock gapped up also, but she's breaking down a little bit more. So I'm not know if she's probably a fan. I'll check back to it when the market opens up. NT's moving this morning. Another one's gapped up 13%, 263,000 shares. Looks like it's hitting a couple iceberg orders there. Not too many buyers, a lot more sellers. Still probably a second protocol stock. The one that I kind of liked a little bit better of them all is probably this one, REML, 179,000 shares. You got you up 20%. Just be very concerned about the spread. Remember, when we teach you at CyberTradingu University, I always say this, I'm going to keep repeating it over and over again. We don't teach you how to make money, which is like, what the hell I need you for? No. We teach you how to stop losing it. Part of losing money is that you trade something that might have a big spread, too much volatility, it's too fast. So you got to know how to control. There's stocks for everyone, from kindergarten beginners to advanced traders, on the floor. But remember, it's all about, you want to trade the $5 hands, or you want to trade the $500 hands at blackjack. So, hey, believe me, you'll get there, but you got to be good at a $5 hand or even a dollar hand, but not on a demo hand. That's not reality. So that one looks pretty decent. Now, there's a bunch of other ones that are moving. You can see Save is obviously doing pretty well. A lot of airlines. So a lot of the brand name stocks are going to go up. Now, listen, I'm not really a fan to trade when the market's up big like today, because first of all, the Dow is basically testing a major resistance level. Okay, 25,000 is a real major resistance level. So a lot of these stocks are following along with it. People are still asking, do I get in? Do I get in? You know what? You want to know if you got to get in my trading room, and we'll see how we trade it. But listen, if you were drooling when the market was at 29, 30,000, you're probably like drooling now or at 25,000. But remember, we came from 18,000. We bounced 7,000 points. Talking about a swing in the market. And remember, there's only certain ones that are moving, not all of them. All right. Now, anything I'm missing, guys, that I did not call out? Anything else that's missing out of that? MD, I mean, you know what? It's not really doing. That's actually bringing up. Don't know about. Jerry says SRND got FDA approval. The SRNE. Yeah, I know. I forgot to. You know what? I totally forgot about that one right there. Great call right there. SRNE. I'll tell you what's great about FDAs now. They're really stepping up their game. I mean, they're really, it doesn't take 10 years to get these, and dealing with all these hurdles and stuff. So FDA is really stepping up their game and, really starting to get these things approved a lot faster than others. So I get that one's doing pretty well. So that one's definitely a really nice one on the watch list. And you know why I didn't find it? No, I didn't bring it up. It just started at 9:00. It just started right here. I had my watch list right before. So 9:00, they just came out with the news. So that's a great call right there. Okay. MAXR. Jeff say what? MAXR. It's up 5%, 3,000 shares. See a little Fausto flag building up right here, but the spread's a little big. Tier size are really small. I would say no, Jeff, as of right now. Not really that good. Anybody here on YouTube and Facebook Live? Any stocks you guys are watching? Any opinions on any of those? All right. But I think I pretty much got them all. Now, listen, couple of things, couple announcements. First of all, today in the if you're a cyber trader in our cyber group room, today is Traders Talk. We do it every Tuesday at 11:00. So where we pick some of the traders and you send your journals in, and Josh's going to do a little critiquing on strategizing on what you did right, what you did wrong. It's an event. It's a great event being part of Cyber Group Room. So if you have not registered, definitely do that and make sure you're in there. Remember, we're usually done like within 30 minutes. Okay. We trade the pre-market, which not too much is going on. I didn't do any pre-market trades so far this morning. I didn't see anything great. I'm not a fan of trading right after a big holiday. But usually when you get a market that's up like this big, you might get a little bit of a push. But I'm going to be a little conservative going into this morning. But you got Traders Talk, and then obviously you got classes. If you're a gold and platinum student, remember you got classes that start. Phase 2 starts this week, and then next week I'll be doing phase 3. And then remember we got those free events that we do every Thursday for open house. All right. Jerry's up $3 on Disney. Talking about that Disney trade just really quick. Wow, 122. We were trading at Disney around 100, 105. Disney obviously, making a big deal with the NBA and stuff like that if they're going to be playing basketball. So, it's not just that the market's going up. Disney's, they're coming out with some big news. So great opportunities out there. All right. All right, everyone. So listen, good luck. Be safe. There's no safer place than being in a cyber trading room. So let's go out there and trade, make your money. And we'll see you back at 11:00 for the Traders Talk. And then we'll be back at 2:30 again, live here on YouTube and Facebook Live and in the Cyber Group Room to trade the afternoon if you need to. Remember, if you make your money, take your money and run. All right? Every day is a new adventure at the Cyber Trading University. Good luck, everyone. Happy trading. And we'll see you back for the afternoon on YouTube and Facebook Live and everyone in the Cyber Group Room. Like I said, you see something, you say something, and try to be done right before the 11:00 meeting. All right? Thanks, everyone. Be safe.